All right, everyone. My God, thank you so much for coming to another episode of I'm a Black Woman, Yes, I Matter. I'm your host, Kamara. I am here with my awesome guest, Minister Kat, Kitty Rose. So this is the first time we're doing this new format. It's called Love You Long Time. It's exactly what it means. It means people who have been on this entrepreneurial journey with me together and how we support each other as sisters. And so the first person I thought about was my homegirl, Minister Kat. Like we connected online, like on LinkedIn, like kind of giving each other love, but maybe a little shade too. Like, what's going to happen? Is this real? And here we are 5 years later, and we have supported each other through all the ups and downs of what it means to be an entrepreneurial person. Kat is good at calling me or texting me at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, like, "Hey, girl, good morning, my sister." I got something to talk about, and it is just awesome. So let's just talk about it. I would love to first of all, Minister Kat, let's have you introduce yourself, and then we can get into our friendship and how this has been so instrumental for both of us.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me on because yes, I am a Black woman and yes, I matter. So I'm so excited to be on today. I think that everything you do is awesome, which is why Love You Long Time or Love You Long Time is appropriate because it's definitely all love related. What I've enjoyed about being in a relationship with you because it's truly have been authentic. And I've met people. I left corporate in 2003. And I've been self-employed since 98. So I've been in business a while. I've met a lot of people, but it always warms the heart when you meet someone who's true and shows you through every single action that they do, not only with you, but with others. So I'm so honored to be on your platform because you are a woman who is about her business, and I so appreciate that. So yes, I am Minister Kat from Kitty Rose, and I'm so happy to be here on this platform because I know that everyone who's watching, especially those that are connected through you, have to be for real folks because what they say, quacks like a duck, acts like a duck, must be a duck. So if you dope, I can only imagine what the rest of your network must look like. And now with this new platform that we've done with Building Sisters, oh man, in just a short period of time, we had 1,000 women already. I mean, like that's kudos to you.
Oh man, I think you were referencing this new community that we're going to join, and I'm like still trying to figure out all my video and how I'm doing everything, but I'm going to go ahead and put a banner down with the link. But if you are a Black woman, please join our community. It's about positivity. It's all about sisterhood. It's about love. It's about support. Whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're in corporate and trying to get out of corporate, we want to be here for you. Whether you live in the United States, this is global. We are about the entire African diaspora. I think oftentimes in the United States, we can get very insular in our thinking. But this is a global movement. We want all of our sisters here together to enjoy the love and enjoy the camaraderie that we've had. So let's talk about it. We met on LinkedIn.
Yes. Hello. It does work.
And I am not a social media maven.
Not at all. Zero, not at all.
Not even a little bit. Like totally came out of my comfort zone in 2020 and started social media pages. I do have to give a shout out to my sister Naima, who really put it on, started my Instagram, started my Twitter, helped me put this YouTube together because I was like, what am I doing over here? But I did do my LinkedIn because like you said, I'm professional. I was like, oh, well, let me have my LinkedIn. This seems like something more my steez. Right. But I had no idea the amount of friendships,
wow,
business relationships, but friendships that would come out of that. Like it's been a beautiful journey, and you're one of the first ones, right? I mean, we were liking each other's posts, and then I think you might have slid into my DMs or sent me a message. It was like, hey, I see that you like my stuff. I'm looking for someone to sponsor. Like, would you be interested in sponsoring my TV show, which was Natural Sessions. Natural Sessions.
Yes. And wait, so let me interject because that's a very good point that you made that I DM'd you. So I say that that's a good point because I DM'd a stranger. I DM'd an online connection, but ultimately was still a stranger. And when I DM'd you, I didn't DM you tech. I DM'd whomever was on that list for the day. So it's a like a numbers game. You know what I'm saying? We always are taught that, but we don't actually know what that looks like because it's consistent. You don't know how many emails, you don't know how many DMs, you don't know how many instant messages go out on a daily basis, but you have to put them out there because you don't know who's going to respond or when they're going to respond. So you can't ever put a pause because you never know when that person is going to connect with you. And out of how many DMs I might have sent out on that day, for you to have replied, whether you had liked a few posts or not, was still like, okay, let me see. You know what I'm saying? So for you to be like, okay, let me see. And then, we talked online and then we met in person. And then what I liked about the in-person meeting was that even though I went to you as the boss, as the leader that you are, said, let's meet at the 4040. And and that first initial meeting was on you, even though I was the one who initiated reaching or getting to know or wanting your business for my business. But you knowing the protocol of, all right, let me sit down with you. Let me check out with you. Let me hear your pitch. Let me hear your pitch. And it wasn't a dinner thing. We had drinks. You know what I mean? But it was like from that meeting, which is really the kicker, was, all right, sounds good. I got some things in motion. I'll get back to you. And everyone hates that I get back to you. Like, oh, what did I do wrong? I messed up. But sure, 6 months, 8 months later, you got back to me.
I mean, it's so true because at that time I was like, I'm not quite sure what it is. Like, I have a business, I'm doing some stuff, but I'm not quite sure this is what I need right at this moment. Right. But I knew, and this is what I keep in my mind, who do I want to work with? And I know when I'm ready, I'm going to go right to you. And that's exactly what I'm ready now.
Right. But you know how many of us gets discouraged because we hear that, you sit, you get dressed, you go to a meeting, you pray, you're hopeful, you do all your notes, you know what I'm saying? You try to make sure that you don't eat too much, you don't drink too much, you're appropriate. And then you hear, I'll get back to you. And you're like, what? But the point is, you still got to do it. You know what I'm saying? You still got to do it. And then 9 out of 10 times, people will get back to you. But then there's that one time that they don't. And it literally can break your spirit. It can be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired. Because like we were saying about social media, working for yourself, people say, oh, that's the easy way out. But it's actually such a harder path to go because your assignments are all on you. Keeping your spirits up was all on you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have an evaluation from the boss at 6 months or 9 months saying, good job. You're not getting a raise, saying, well done. You know what I mean? And getting that encouragement from an employer. You have to be your cheerleader. You have to be your encourager along with your village. So not only have you been, an investor, a paid client, but you've been a mentor in the sense of encouraging how to now navigate, because the investment that one makes is not just monetary. If I'm investing in you, which is investing in us, investing in my Black women and my sisters, it's important for me to not just give you what this is, the one product or one service, but to give you all of me. So the fact that you were a financial expert, I learned how to use Con Ed or T-Mobile to integrate it into my bills so that now I'm making money off of those two services that I contribute and pay to every month. So it's not you telling me here's some money. Now you're saying here's some money, but now let me teach you also how to manage this money so that when others are now looking for you, or when you're doing what you need to do with this money, it makes a difference rather than just creating another debt.
Oh man, you didn't say nothing but a word. You've said so much, actually. One of the things I want to hone in on is the what you said, like this entrepreneur journey is so solo. So that's why it's so important to have our community of, and I really specifically say sisterhood, because there's something about being a Black woman that we only understand. I mean, I love our brothers, we'll always love our brothers, but there's something about us sisters when we come together, when we support, when we show love, and we understand our experiences, and we understand what it's like to get up in the morning, walk through the world, you know, how Black am I going to be today? I'm going to go out with my natural hair, my big earrings, or do I have to tone it down based off of the conversation? And to your point, like when we met at 4040, I purposely picked 4040 because I also try to support Black as much as possible.
Amen.
And we all know that's Jay-Z's club. So I've been supporting 4040 since he didn't open it up, for better or for worse. So I have some stories about some 4040.
Exactly. Because that's what it's about. It's on every level that we can. But it's not only on every level that we can, it's on every level when we also give good business and quality business. Because I'm going to tell you, no shade, but I was at the 4040 for a minute because you were late that day. Right? But the 4040 management team took care of me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there. I didn't feel like, you know, somebody was watching me. I didn't feel like, you know, I didn't feel alone. They catered. They made sure I was okay, so that my time that I was waiting for you didn't even seem like I was waiting, because now the service was also taking care of the absence. So that all played a part, because if it was tacky service, I would have remembered that. And I would be like, girl, you took me to the 4040 and they was rude as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that all of our experiences that we deal with each other are still a good one. And the reason why that, you know, again, no shade to our brothers, because they definitely understand our plight, but not the same, because like you said, not only do we have to think about what we're wearing when we're going to an interview, we have to think about what's too much, you know, what's the fine line of still using your femininity and not crossing the line where someone is thinking that you're doing more. Or, you know, just the support from another woman who can understand, you know, what it's like and how frustrating it is to be in a room and you got 10 men that you got to convince, you know, that you're the right candidate for whatever project that you're pitching to them. And, you know, you got to be the strong personality. And sometimes, you know, that comes off bitchy, but no one other person but another woman who gets called that can understand what that feels like, because as tough as we have to be, that shit don't feel good, because I'm not trying to be tough. I'm just trying to I'm making my point. But because I'm making my point in a stern and a direct way, and I'm not trying to dance with you like some chick that don't know her worth, then I'm mean, then I'm a bitch, then I'm hard. And that is also tiring on the spirit and on the soul. So it's encouraging to have other women that are going through the same ups and downs of running a business, share in a community, that we can share those type of, well, what did you do to relax? Or what did you do to come down from that? Or how did you go into that meeting? Because everything is not about the graph. Everything is not about Excel. Everything is not about a PowerPoint. Everything is not about, you know, did you like this post and send this email? Sometimes it really is the mental and the emotional strength that you need in order to run and operate a business.
It's so true. And of course, what we're alluding to is that oftentimes that the decision makers are men, oftentimes they're white, etc. And so that's another reason why we're trying to create these spaces, right? Because we want to now be the decision makers. We don't want to just be a seat at the table and talk at the table. We want to create the table and create the table and those opportunities for our fellow sisters. And I think, like, so let's talk a little bit about the ways that we have worked together. Because there's many, many ways that we work together. First and foremost, I was absolutely a client. So Kat did some commercials for me for my business for tech, when we were talking about financial empowerment, entrepreneurship, which is still at the heart of what tech is about. And those videos came out awesome. People love them.
And they get repeated on Facebook, even though she's not on Facebook.
That is the one social media that people can get me on. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you'll ever get me on Facebook, because, you know, big tech is all terrible, but Facebook is probably the worst out of all of them when it comes to, and anyway, I'm going to all the politics, but the man in charge is not quite right, not really about diversity, equity, or inclusion by any means, and does not care to even pretend that he is. But anyway, that's an aside.
Right.
That's an aside. But yeah, so did those commercials. They came out amazingly well. I already knew that they were going to come out well because first of all, I've seen your products. But when I got there, you were ready. You had the team. I was like, had a makeup artist. I was like, a makeup artist. I don't even wear makeup. Like it was on and popping. We had so much fun that day too. That was the other piece that I thought was good. Like if you can have fun when you're doing business with someone,
yes,
that's how I know I'm doing the right thing, right? Because it shouldn't feel like a chore. It should feel like a positive and passionate experience. So we did that.
And before you move on to the next thing we did, shout out the woman editor who edited that product, the Brown Lotus, because even though my team that day was men and women, I like to give props when we work with other women entities. So even though I was able to direct and shoot the commercials for you without editing, it would have meant nothing. So shout out to the Brown Lotus, Rochelle Blanks, who edited the shit out those commercials.
I love that. And actually, before we even did the commercial, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you came with me to this event. I don't know how you got this footage, but I was speaking somewhere in Long Island and you got the footage and then you put like little clips together before you even knew I was going to be a client or not. And just it was like, oh, off GP, off us just, having a vibe. Here you go. And I was like, this is awesome.
Well, no.
Uh-oh.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, it wasn't really off of it was off of a vibe, but the vibe knowing that I wanted to work with you. So the reason why I say, and I interject in that, again, directing this to our audience, is because when you know that you want to work with someone, then you do the extra. You know what I'm saying? To let them know that you're serious about working with them. So even though I had met with you and we had an awesome meeting, for me, it was like, let me do the extra. You know what I'm saying? It can't hurt. She could say no, she could not work with me. But what if it touches her? What if she appreciates it? What if she says, wow, she didn't even have to do that, and look at what she did. You know what? I don't mind working with her. I don't mind giving her this. So I didn't know whether or not you would think that or not, but my strategic thinking as a business person wasn't, let's just leave it at that. It's like that follow-up when you have a job interview and you're supposed to do the card or the email afterwards. It's the same process. It's when you're working with someone or when you have the desire to work with someone, how do you now figure out to convince them even more that you're the right candidate? You know what I'm saying? Are you simply just going to rely on your bio? You can. But what does it hurt to do the extra? It didn't hurt for me to go to this event and edit and shoot some footage and put something together for you, because what it ended up doing was what? Securing the bag for my own project.
No, yeah, absolutely. I was like, yes. I mean, that was exactly what I thought. I was like, wow, she really didn't have to do that. And there was like 4 different videos. I was like, wait a minute. It was great. I still have them. In fact, I was re-looking at them this morning just as I was like trying to think through our journey together. I was like, oh yeah, we did this. Oh yeah, we
forgot about that. Wow.
I was like, man, this is crazy. All right. So then after that, you knew that I was investing in women, and so you asked if I would be willing to. I mean, do you want to tell the story a little bit since it's your
right. Well, one of the things that I use LinkedIn for, because every social media platform is different, and you have to realize what is what. So things that I put on LinkedIn are not necessarily things that I ask for on Facebook or Instagram. So LinkedIn audience is definitely my audience, and I'm looking for sponsorships. I'm looking to, broaden my network, because, production work is not easy, and it's also not cheap. And as I was coming into media and coming into communication, since I was new, I wasn't pricing myself the correct way, so in order for me to get better, I needed certain other equipment, I needed, mics, and I needed, lighting equipment. Like I needed certain things to make my packaging more legit. And when I started putting out ads for sponsors, after we shot our commercial, one of our deals that we negotiated outside of the actual paid service was, okay, not a paid service. This was a paid service. Was now you would actually have some spots or commercial spots on my show, on my platform, Natural Sessions, which just in New York is in 4.7 million homes, but is also on an international platform because we stream weekly on the On channel. So it was another way for now the business relationship to keep growing, because now I shoot the Kitty Rose Lifestyle shoots a commercial for Tech, but now Tech is one of the underwriters for the Kitty Rose Lifestyle Natural Sessions. So now it's like a back and forth of business that's happening. So it's just not one product. It's like when people talking about what are they scaling up or trying to, have one product and make multiple products or make multiple sales off of that product. What about teaching us to keep the money going with ourselves? So yeah, I could charge you for 4 different products, but in the meantime, what are you getting? You're getting my service, but why can't you get my business? You're giving me your business. So when we end up giving each other business, then we keep the pot growing and the process growing, So from you now becoming a underwriter for Natural Sessions, then it became like, okay, I think the next event was, you had one of your financial meetings downtown, and I came and shot that. And now that literacy meeting was amazing, because here it could be a gig for me, but this is where now I'm learning, and not only am I learning how to use my money better, but I now can have another tool to teach to my clients, to teach to my customers, to teach to my fan base, to give to my followers. Because if all the information is kept to myself, then what's that? It's for me to share with my community. But if I don't have the information, then I don't have anything to share. So now having this information from you, it took the relationship once again, as we were growing, to the next level. Because it wasn't just about Kitty Rose, even though it was about Kitty Rose. Because everything I learn and benefits my brand. But it benefits my brand where now I'm beneficial to others, and the brand I'm actually supporting that supports me. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, really. Like the synergy is just amazing, right? And what she's talking about is that before the COVID, pre-COVID times, I would host these weekly financial talks. Literally, I would just hold house at like different restaurants that I used to go to, talk to the owners, be like, look, can I, on a weekly basis, just bring in more business for you? So again, and then I'm just pouring into people. And I don't ask anybody for money. I mean, I just pour into people the things that I know about financial literacy, because as we know, there is a huge income and wealth gap in our community. We often do not know the same information that other people know. We often do not talk about finances with our friends, with our family, etc. So to bring that taboo down, I decided, and I'm an educator by trade. I love to educate. I'm a lifelong learner. I am an educator. And I was like, I have this knowledge. What is the point of me sitting on it? Also, what's the point? I didn't feel like even charging anyone for it, because I'd rather just pour in so that people can pour, like what you're doing, so that you can go pour out to your other networks, and you can continue, and we can continue to grow and love on and educate one another. Because if we don't educate ourselves, no, right? And if we really believe in Black empowerment, building our communities, we have got to not be crabs in the barrel. We have to share our wealth. We have to share our wealth of knowledge as much as we possibly can. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
And let me
well, actually, we're wearing our shirts right now for the latest thing that we're out about, which is I am you. Wait. So exciting. Kat, are you still with me?
Yes, but before you get there, we froze. Are we on the same page?
I was like, oh my God, what happened?
Are you with me? Because you're a little blurry.
Oh, I'm blurry?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
I can. Okay, so before we go on to I Am You, I want to peep something else to you. So there was another event that we did together up in Long Island. It was another I Am kind of Black, woman type of event. But let me tell you what happened from that. Again, the beautiful world of networking, the beautiful world of women supporting each other. Are we still on? There?
We're good. I'm sorry. We're good. Keep going.
So from that Long Island trip, I got followers, but I also got guest speakers to come on Natural Sessions that met me in Long Island, that are now long-term followers or supporters of the Kitty Rose lifestyle, and now new supporters of the IMU project. But I met them at the event that I did in Long Island with you. So again, it's like every time we're connecting, there's always, even if it's one person, there's always a new person that's now following the both of us. And sometimes we get discouraged that it's one person, but that one person is like that one roach in the house. That one roach, represents 100 of them motherfuckers that you just can't see.
Man, so yeah, let's talk about that event too. Oh, there's so much that we've done. Yeah, so that event came out of the fact that, again, because I like to pour into our community, I'm not just someone who talks about it. I put my money behind our community, etc. Oh, hey, what's up, Evan? Evan and I went to high school together. I love that. What's up? But what's so cool is that's because I produced a play called Sisters on Fire. And Sisters on Fire, that was written by Marsha McNair and Anissa Moore, who are from Long Island. And we were trying to figure out ways that we could be creative about selling tickets, but also giving back to our community. So this is where I'm a Black Woman, Yes, I Matter was born. That was actually the name of the event. Yes, I Matter. I brought all the panelists together. I asked a whole bunch of other people to come be panelists. We did a little snippet from Sisters on Fire. And then the most important piece to me was we had nothing but Black vendors there.
Yeah.
So it was all about love and community. And yes, it was in Long Island, but I had people coming in from Queens, the city, New Jersey,
Bronx.
Like people coming from all over to support. So it's so amazing, so wonderful.
And it was a full house.
It was like standing room only.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
And then
I got a chance to meet your mama.
Yeah. Everybody loves Dr. Jackson.
I know. I was so excited to meet the real Claire Huxtable. No, they not.
Oh man, but that's how this is why we're here today. This is why we have that show, is because that's when I birthed that fruition when it came to my mind. And then of course COVID forced us to go virtual.
Right.
But the beauty of it is, if you've been watching the show, if you guys have been following, it's gone global. I've had people on from Kenya, from Germany, from Jamaica, from South Africa. Like,
I'm mad at you right now about that, because I am on social media. I got freaking 556 subscribers on YouTube. And when I woke up this morning, you had 1,000 motherfuckers. I was like, wait a minute, what? I was like, wait a minute, Kamara? Wait, how? I was like, how did that happen? She just started the YouTube page a couple of months ago. I was like,
started in May.
I was like, you gotta work.
We're gonna have to talk offline about that.
Okay.
I'll pour into you a little bit more.
Nice. But I was proud though. I was happy. It made me smile because I felt what I saw was whatever you were doing something. And it, everybody has to find their comfort. You have this world of social media, but every platform is not for everyone. And even though you can benefit on every single platform, at the end of the day, you still have to find your comfort zone. We just talked about tweeting. I find that so many people tweet, but I don't tweet at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how far I could be further along if I did actively tweet. But I choose not to because I engage in these other platforms that take so much time and energy from me. I don't want to be on another platform. But now there's like Twitch, and people are telling me to do Twitch. And I'm like, oh man, something else. But when I'm on IG, I realize that the audience that's on IG is not the same that's on Facebook. My audience on Facebook is not the same that my audience is on LinkedIn. So what I like though is that as I learned who was what and where was what, I found that, okay, LinkedIn works for this. Yeah. Facebook works for this, for me. So when my day of marketing or my day of work, I know that this amount of time is going on this platform. This amount of time is going on that platform, because that's what I have found that works for me. So everyone has to find what works for them. So I never really got on you, not too bad, about things that you weren't on, because whatever you had decided to be on, you were on. So YouTube is just another example of, okay, I've made a commitment. I don't like these mediums, but if I'm going to make a commitment to the ones I'm making a commitment to, then here is the work. And you show and prove when you put the work in, which is why I woke up this morning and saw all of those subscribers, because that's someone who has put, even on our new group, on the new site, that those women didn't join just because, you made one post and said, come and join me. Though that was active work. So kudos.
Yeah, and continues to be active work. But I will tell you, when you're a solopreneur, or you're out here by yourself, whatever the term is, you gotta build a team. So it's not just a community, but you gotta have folks behind you who have an expertise that you don't have, right? That you can bring to the table, who hopefully will pour into you. And vice versa. And so I think this is also a little bit of what we're talking about. So behind the scenes, I'm the brand, I'm the face, but behind the scenes, I've got amazing people who are working, which I love. And honestly, a lot of times it's my family, it's my sisters doing building my websites, forcing me out of my comfort zone. We're like, you really need to get on social media. They even got me on Clubhouse, girl. I'm like, Lord. I was like, this is not how I like to roll. But anyway, but it's been amazing to me, because just to be able to speak to people all across the world and to learn. I think that's the part that I love the most, right? I'm a lifelong learner. So I'm constantly learning on LinkedIn. Now that I'm on Twitter and running my own Twitter account now, thanks, Naima, transferring over. It just started this week. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm learning lots of things. And I think that's another important piece that I think is really key. But I've been watching you. I mean, honestly, I'm like, Kat's out here doing it. She's got her brand. She's like, da da da. I'm like watching you get ready today. I was like, let me do the same with my hair and all that. So I'm always watching you too, just especially on the branding and on the media lifestyle. So you're pouring, the way I'm pouring into you, you're pouring into me. And this is the beautifulness about our relationship and everything that's going forward. But we don't have a lot of time. But we
knew this was going to happen. We can't half an hour.
Pat and I can talk. That's great. But our newest project, which we're really, really excited about, it's I Am You, man. So, well, Kat already knows I like to support Black women. I like to support the artistry. I went to NYU Tisch School of the Arts. I love the arts. So I produced, and I was an investor and executive producer of Sisters on Fire. Yes. And so Kat came to me and was like, I've got this idea.
Since we had a good run. Man, if it ain't broke,
I mean, why?
Because at the end of the day, all you could say is no, or you could say not me, but I have someone else, or you could say, let me think about it, or you could say, you know what? Yeah, let's rock. You know what I mean? And out of those 4 options, you did a couple of those. You introduced me to some other folks that could help in this venture, and then you came on board as one of the producers, and that wasn't like a one-time year situation. You came on as a producer in 2019. COVID freaking hits us, and in 2021 we decide if we're going to continue to move forward, not on bad or good, just what's new for the new year. You stayed consistent and was like, you know what, let's keep this ball rolling, let's keep this union get together, and I'm going to come on board as an executive producer now and really take more of a financial and personal interest in this project, because what your message is another form of what my message is. So if I can be instrumental in helping this get out to ultimately support our people, support our women, support our men, support our children, support our future, then I'm on board. And that is another thing that I just ultimately respect about you, because a lot of times investors, they can come in, make their money and be out. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes those are the best people, because you don't have to have no influence or no opinion about what you should do. You know what I'm saying? Get the money and go. But you keep on. Your investments are not one or two. You keep on, and then you've been able to, outside of money, monetary ways of helping. I can call you up, like you said, at 6 in the. I be trying to wait though. I be ready at 6 in the morning, but I be like, oh, I know she ain't ready yet. So I be looking at the clock like, can I text Kamara yet? You know what I'm saying? Yo, sis, I got something I need to run by you real quick. What you think? You know what I mean? And your advice is always so solid. Whether I go with it or not, it's solid in a way of giving me perspective from someone who's not who's my girlfriend, but not my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Because you have your contribution and your gain has to also be successful. Remember, we're still business women. So yeah, you might love me and you like the concept, but if it don't make dollars, fuck sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it still has to, be profitable for us. So for you to come in and not just write a check, but to give opinions, to give advice, to give direction, to give introductions, those are all a part of the investment. It's not just about writing a check. If you just write a check, but don't worry about how you're going to get your money back, then you really wasn't invested. You just gave somebody some money. You know what I'm saying? And there's no real value in that. Well, there's not the value that could be if you actually took the investment and really invested in the person or product or person, artist that you gave some money to. And that's another part of the reasons why I fell in love with you, because remember, I've been in business for a minute. I've had several people just write a check, but they write a check and they leave. And that's cool. But if you are able to write a check, that must mean you have some type of expertise that I don't have, because I'm not able to write that same check. So let me maybe fucking listen to you for a minute, help understand how I can get to the position that you're at. But if you're just writing something for me, you're still not helping to educate this movement of empowering ourselves.
I mean, that's exactly what it is, right? So I love that you bring in that it's not just the monetary and financial investment, which of course we all need, is important. let's not pretend like we're not also about trying to live, trying to make money, trying to ensure that we have generational wealth that we can pour into our children. We haven't even talked about the fact that you're a mother, but if you want to learn more about those stories, check out IMU. I got my IMU shirt on.
Yes.
Normally I wear my own branding, but I was like, nah, for my girl today, I'm gonna wear my IMU shirt on. But yeah, you guys should definitely go check out IMU. We'll after this, we'll put the links and everything so that you guys will have it. I'll send it all off to everybody because it is an amazing show. I'm sorry that you guys haven't gotten a chance to see it live, but it is definitely worthwhile to watch it and stream it because the stories are just so real. They're so authentic. And we can learn from them. And that's the part that I love the most. It's the educational aspect. It's the fact that you can have dialogue after every piece, or you can say, man, I didn't think about that. Or I went through something really similar. Let's talk. I don't feel alone. So that's the beauty of IMU, right? It's Kat's story, but she is all of us. And that's the important piece.
Amen.
So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and go, but we are definitely going to do this again. I'm seeing questions, I'm seeing energy, so I know people are going to see us again. But thank you so much for being my first guest.
Yes.
Love you long time.
Yes, love you long time. Because I am a Black woman. Yes, I matter.
Absolutely. Everyone who's tuned in, thank you guys so much. I'm going to follow back up with an email with all the links. Please keep in contact. You can find Kat at Ms. MZ Kitty, Kitty, Rose 1 on YouTube and Instagram. And then, of course, you can find me at Tech Talk, Tech Solve here on YouTube. You're probably already a subscriber. But now find me on Twitter. It's the same exact handle. And follow me there. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. Love you. Mwah. Bye. All right, Kat, you can stay on for a little bit.